it's just so Trish, and it's a new year. How's everybody doing being back from homeschool burnout? All right, I told you I have been missing in action. I will have to do a video on that. So when I do, I have had my husband home for a week, and can I just tell you, I've had a week of getting not much done. So, away it goes. So, I said I would make if I did a resolution, I'd do my hair. So, I'm bringing back the 80s. You like the mohawk? So, I have to say I did cheat a little bit. I woke up this way. Well, not this. I made it a little nicer, but I did wake up like that. But I ain't scared. Anyway. So, it's a new year. I've changed a few things up. I've talked about that. I hinted about that last week. And one of the things is I've decided to embrace technology. I've been kind of anti-technology for a while, and I've had a lot of reasons, and if the time comes, I will make a video on that. And I'll let you know kind of my reasons why. They're crazy reasons, actually, but whatever. But, so one of the reasons I've decided to do a little bit more embracing of technology, and I've talked about it, is I kind of need my kids to engage more. And I've realized that the way I deliver, I love Christian Light Education. I think it's great, but we live in a distracted world, and I think just having one way of delivering the schoolwork could end up being detrimental later on. So if it only comes in workbooks, and when they get into college or they begin taking dual enrollment classes, it doesn't come that way. And work doesn't come that way. And, you know, just letting them mix up the way that they get their work delivered. So one of the things I've decided to do is kind of move Katie. Now Katie's 5th grade. She's 11. She's really in different places with her. Like, she reads at a high school level. But her math, she hasn't mastered the math facts, so it makes math very grueling. And just trying to find the best way to kind of fit those needs and to kind of change it up for her, because she's kind of, I think she's at that age of puberty's beginning, and she's crossing over. If you do classical education, you got the grammar to, I think it's the rhetoric. I think it's rhetoric. Anyways, to that middle, so she's kind of having that slash, and she's thinking about things differently, and I realized, you know, I need to kind of accommodate that. So that's one of the things I have been working on. So in doing that, I've been doing Easy Peasy, or not doing Easy Peasy, setting up to do Easy Peasy, and changing. I don't want to turn this into a long, but I'll give you the gist of it, and then I'll go into detail later in different videos and explain why. Okay, it is distracting me to see my hair like that. Anyway, so I am setting it up, and I'm pulling all of their science and their history workbooks out, and I'm going to have them work together, us as a family, for doing Easy Peasy Year 1. And that's kind of a nice trade-off, because I have been dealing with being a bit distracted. Not really distracted. I had something, they're like, you got to remember to approach it as a job. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been approaching it like a job. I have and I haven't. You know, I'm at home with a pile of kids kind of, you know, toss up. So I figured we'll follow through with Easy Peasy's Year 1. We're going to start on day 1 today or tomorrow, depending. And I'll work with it, and I'll do the reading, and we'll do it together. And it'll be computer-based, so it's kind of propelling us along versus me opening something and just reading kind of deal. So that's the plan. And I was listening to one mom. They're like, oh, we do all the YouTube videos on the TV. So I'm like, I can do that. So we're doing that. I am working hard to figure out how I'm going to alternate technology, and having enough technology for the number of children I have is a little bit difficult. I've tried resurrecting computers that essentially have no hope. No hope at all. And I'm looking at tablets, and I'm looking at it without spending money, because you know me, I'm always spending money. So does it look like we moved out? Does this look more organized? Bam! We're not in the schoolhouse, especially if we're going to be embracing technology. Then that's one more thing I have to wait on. But I will say I have been sewing in the schoolhouse, so that is an awesome plus. But it has motivated me to declutter. And also one of the things I'm looking at is, I still love Christian Light, don't get me wrong, but getting rid of all of the extra stuff, especially with there being 4 being schooled. I just feel like I have stuff everywhere, and so I've been kind of pulling out, and I mean literally I'm going to box stuff up, and when my schoolhouse is ready, I'm going to go through and I will be having the biggest homeschool eBay store ever and get the stuff out of here. I typically give my things away, and I'm not going to. You know, I feel like, oh, I could just give stuff away. But I've decided I'm not going to, because I kind of need that money to buy some technology. And one of my deals is just trying to find kind of netbooks online. Or not online. I seen one at Walmart. It was like $150, which isn't bad. So I'm like, can I sell enough curriculum to have that? So anyway. So, I will tell you about Katie, and then I'll keep it short. And I got a Bible verse. And I got a baby on a piano. So I will tell you, cleaning this off, my children have been playing. Imagine that. They have been playing and practicing. We don't take formal piano lessons. We have a couple books, and we just try. Maybe one day. One day. So, I set it up in a notebook. So one of the things I like about Easy Peasy is the aspect that it's not all on the computer. So like if we did Florida Virtual, if we did Monarch, if we did SOS, pretty much most of their work is contained within the computer. And I'm old school, which is one of the reasons I was not like excited about the idea of technology. So I really like Easy Peasy as a compromise, because most of their work is going to be in a notebook. No, there's no work in here. We just set this up. So one of the first things I did is I went on to Windows, and they have templates for education, and they have this really nice template. And you can type everything I have handwritten in, you can type. But I actually cleared those pages out. And I'm keeping like a main, you know, she has extra math every morning. She has a Bible. And I'm only required, because Bibles only needs to be like every other day. So I'm only doing the first 3 days of the week. And then she's doing her Saxon lessons. One of the things I did, let me grab it. So one of the things I did was, she tends to get really bogged down in Saxon. Here is her Saxon math book. And I think a lot of that has to do with math facts. So the way Saxon is set up, you have your lesson. So this is lesson 27. You have your lesson. You have your examples. And then you have practice problems. And then you have a set of 25 exercise problems. So what I'm doing instead is I'm having her read her lesson, do the practice, day 1. Day 2, do the problem set. So we're essentially splitting a lesson into 2. And although, as much as I want to be like, get through the book, I think it's going to come to be better. Because one of the things I'm also adding in is Khan Academy. And it has already been powerful. I've had her practicing and learning Khan Academy over the last week. And it's nice. I didn't set her, I looked through like this, you know, like what 3rd grade looks like, what 4th grade looks like, what 5th grade looks like. And I looked at that. One of her big parts is she doesn't have her division down at all. And she's still, you know, math facts are an issue. But you can go through Khan Academy and just pick it by skill that you want to work on. And it kind of does like overall math going through skills. Or you can do it by grade level. I don't know. They could be standardized with Common Core standards, but there's no funky math. I have yet to see funky math in there, which has been great. And you put her in, she starts, and essentially just, it runs about 25 minutes. You start taking tests and, or quiz or questions. You do the questions. If you don't know it, you can say, I haven't learned this yet. If you think you know it, but you can't remember, they give you a hint. And what I really like is, like, the hints are anywhere from 2 to 3 step hints. So you get 1 step as a hint, and then you can hit hint again and get another step and go. And it all else fails, they have a video that teaches you that skill. So what's awesome is it then tracks what's going on, and then it's placing and advancing her accordingly. She is somebody who's been like getting 5-10 minutes of math in and then be like, you know, just phased out. She was engaged for like, in the course of one day, 90 minutes. You know, it was a little bit like, is that you? So it definitely engaged her well, and she liked it a lot. So she did multiple runs through. So the nice part is they kind of have a cycle that you can run through to master, and it's maybe 15-20 minutes long. So comparing that with extra math, doing the Khan Academy, and then her Saxon, I think she only needs half a lesson. So so there's her Saxon. Then she's doing her day and her level within Easy Peasy. This is a lot, I know, because Easy Peasy is enough. It just feels light. But, you know, this is us transitioning. I'm going to try and do this for the next month and then reevaluate what we're going to do. One of the things I did tell her was, give me that. Ooh, if I don't fall. Babies. Anyway, is in the Easy Peasy, she is not required to do any of the math work. She's doing enough math, but she can play the games. So I'm giving her that. She can click the links, do the games, enjoy the games, and then move on. After that, we're working on, she is going back into language arts. I don't know how long we're going to finish this workbook. I don't know if I'm going to continue the workbook. I have a couple other ideas dealing with. I like the workbook. It's thorough. But one of the things I'm running into is, especially with her, is Christian Light is very, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to go through all the lessons to get the things. And I could go through and cross them out and work through them. But I really need to work on, you need this skill, practice it, this skill, practice it, this skill, practice it, kind of mastery a little bit, you know, for her level. So I'm looking at things like that, and that's one of the things I am utilizing through Easy Peasy. Reading 45 minutes a day. Seriously, that's just there because it's there. The kid could read for hours. Hours and hours. I think she digested 3 books last week, and this last weekend 2 books this weekend. Just this weekend, 2 books. One of the things I am doing differently is really vamping up utilizing the tablets. We have a Windows tablet. I don't recommend. But the nice part with the tablet, Windows tablet, is I can run Chrome and I can run Kindle. And a lot of the books we use from the Robinson curriculum is free on Amazon. So I was just laughing. I'm like, 40 books in like the course of a half an hour that I was able to load onto the Kindle. So there's a large selection she can have, and then I'm not bogged down to like I have to get that on the Nook, because that is an issue I do have with the Nook, is like trying to keep up with, did I get a book loaded on there, because I can't do it otherwise. So having that, but it gives me a spot to write down or have her write down what she's reading, and then that's our group work for the day. So one of the things I did was I printed out just this standard basic one. I printed out, and then I just wrote in, and I printed out 4, not over gusto. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna use my planner still. I mean, I think I might record gradish in there. I'm not entirely sure, but it does have me thinking, like going through all this does have me thinking, like, how am I going to change my where am I going to go from here with my curriculum kind of deal. One of the things I did, because I've tried Easy Peasy in the past for a month, and I couldn't handle not understanding where they're going. So one of the things I did was I printed out, there's a spot in the printables that you can literally print out everything that's, like this is the entire 180 days of schoolwork for level 4, so that includes math and materials, but it gives me the ability to look at, so here's the back. So I highlight like when the next day is, but it gives me the ability to say, okay, here's what we got going on. You know, math is play this, play that, make numbers, round to the nearest 100. Well, I know there's no printouts on that, so I'm good. But then I understand what her reading is, and I realize that she wrote the right things, and I can go through, and I like that. That's one of the things I really like about having it printed out. And then once she's done with the page, I'm going to start sticking them in the back. Or throwing them away or something. I don't know. I haven't decided. We are through a umbrella school, so we don't have the requirements to keep so much. I like keeping a portfolio, but not so much. So, here's an example I did have her go through of one of the days. So this is her vocabulary. She just wrote day 1. Well, I wrote that to tell her. Day 1, the day reading. She wrote down the words she was supposed to, then she wrote down the definitions. One of the other aspects I like that Lee Giles did with Easy Peasy was she actually does a lot of indirect training on search engines. Oh, it's 16 minutes already. I gotta be done. So that works out really good because, like, it says to do definitions, just type defined in the word in a search engine, and then she gives you the information on how to keep your search engine safe searching. So I do have a Bible verse for the week. I know I've been kind of slacking, but I wrote it on a whiteboard. Bam! All right, so one of the things we're covering right now is the Beatitudes. And I just got done with a really awesome Bible study on the Beatitudes. Not an in-depth one, but kind of a small one. So, Matthew 5:3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So this is the Beatitudes number 1. And what was really cool is when we were going through and studying the Beatitudes, if you go back to Matthew 5:1 through 14, the very big part is Jesus was not preaching to the multitudes. He was preaching to the apostles. And if you think about it, the apostles were already those who were following him, who were, you know, dedicating their lives to following him. And it wasn't just those like, let's see what he has to say. And it comes down to the Beatitudes are really a direct conversation with the church, with God's people. And you know, blessed, number 1 of the Beatitudes is the poor in spirit, for the kingdom is theirs. And really what it comes down to, the poor spirits, is understanding that you have sin and you are a sinner and it separates you from God. Because if you have that understanding that you're a sinner and you cannot do it on your own and you need him and you accept him, you will inherit the kingdom of heaven. It was awesome taking that Bible study and reading all the summaries of the concordances, because here I thought it was just somebody who just was like miserable. Poor in spirit. But what it came down to is the hopeless and the aspect that there's no way we can do it on our own. So I thought that was awesome. Alright, I will be going through those, hopefully, for the next month. But I have more videos to make. Sorry I was behind. And let's get this one done. Peace out!